Welcome back, guys. I know that you have already been through a half of my eyeshadow palette collections video, and I know it's long and I have a lot more than I should and a lot more than my rationality allows me to, but I have them anyway. I'm not decluttering because I love them. You know, I do not intend to brag about how much stuff I have. I buy every one of them with my hard-earned money. Some people get PR package, I don't. I just do what I love out of my own pockets. So let's start the video. You see this like mark right here? My eyeshadow palettes pile kind of fell on top of it, and one of them kind of like nipped me right there. Don't mind it. Yeah. Next up is Urban Decay. Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, one of those eyeshadow palettes piles. I have to go back and forth a couple of times to get all of them. Yes, I have a lot of Urban Decay shadow. Overall, I feel like Urban Decay shadow has a very consistent formula, unlike Too Faced. So I think it's hyped up for a reason, but also I think that it's a little bit overhyped. I will let you know why. This is Urban Decay Beauty with an Edge palette, and it looks something like this, and it has all shimmery shadow in here. Except for this one, the blackout one. The blackout has some sparkles in it. It looks really good when I set my eyeliner with it, so I don't complain. So I think this is a very nice palette, but it will be a challenge to come out 3 complete looks using this palette, but I'm all up for the challenge. Girl, you know how I feel about that. So shimmer shade does not bother me at all. Alright, let's talk about the Naked palette. I know this is such a staple palette for all of us. I do not have Naked 2 or Heat. I haven't got my hands on the Heat yet because I haven't made up my mind. It looks pretty, but honestly, like all those matte shade though. Yeah, all those matte shade though. I don't know how I feel about those, but I mean, I will probably end up getting them anyway, but I may just need a little more time to struggle with myself. So this is a Naked palette. My sister loves this palette, and this is the only palette she used for years. This honestly, in my opinion, has a lot more shimmer than matte for a lot of people. And I honestly think that the color combination looks really good, because I could look at this and I would say, oh, 3 looks on top of my head: smoky, pinky shades, and then the natural look. So I think it's very worth it. I have the Naked Smokey right here. There's 3 eye look right on top of my head. So I can have a very light brown neutral look. I have a smoky look. I have a purple smoky look, and then all this shade I can use a transition brow bone highlights and all that. So this is a very practical palette for me too. So I cannot wait to do the challenge with this palette as well. Naked 3. I remember when this came out, everyone was like, oh my god, rose gold, oh whoa. So I know, ugh, it was crazy. I remember getting the CoverGirl knocked off of this palette, but it's just not the same. This palette definitely have a lot more punch in it, and as long as you can look at something and you know what you can do with it, I think it's worth buying. So for this palette, as you can tell, it's a very rose gold. Again, for me, 3 looks is like a more deep purpley look, a lighter pink look, and then also a brownsy rose gold look. So 3 look up for this palette is not an issue. So again, I think the Naked series is a very stable palette in my collections. It grounds my eyeshadow palettes, you know what I mean? Like those palettes that you know you can always count on to have a decent look. The palettes you always want to travel with is because you know what you can do with them. This is the Urban Decay collaboration with Gwen Stefani, and I saw a lot of people talk about this, and this is one of the very first palettes I have, and honestly I think this palette, even to this day, I still love this palette. So 3 looks from this palette right on top of my head. It's neutral look, colorful look, and a smoky look. You know, you can always count on this palette to be versatile. So I think this palette is really worth it, and I cannot wait to show you how much you can play with this palette. This is one of the most awkward packaging that I have ever had. It looks like this. It is a Urban Decay Spectrum eyeshadow palette. It's one of the very first one. Oh my god, this gets so dirty. I already been using this for a long time. So wonderful palette. It just like I just don't understand the concept of this packaging. You know, you open like this, and then you do some oh my god. Oh my god, this is, you see how like weird is it? And then you take this out, and then this is all you got. Like, look guys, this is all you got right here. Like, look at this. This is how deep the pants is. It's not very deep. And then you have this velvet box here. What am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna put this in here? Like, what am I gonna do with it? Really? But all complaint aside, the shadow itself is really nice, and you see how my moving has been like chipping them a lot. I honestly think that this is a very nice colorful eyeshadow palette on a deeper end. It's not a pastel color, and all of this color are very wearable, and it's very perfect for nighttime, not a daytime look. It has a lighter shade over here you can play with and create a neutral look, but again, this type of color you have 10,000 other eyeshadow palette for. But what I'm thinking is that you could always use this shade down here to ground your eyeshadow, and then you could play with a pop of color up here. So creating three kinds of look is not a big challenge for this. Vice palettes from Urban Decay, and I have Vice 1, 2, and 3. So let's talk about this one right here. Oh my god, I love this packaging. Love this packaging. It's just like you could feel this, like you see it, like you could feel it like texturizing, like it's so nice. This eyeshadow palette, let me tell you, if you like a pop of color, this is your friend. I think that for this palette of creating three kinds of look, it's gonna be a challenge, I'm gonna be honest, because it has to have a lot of earthy color to ground your eyeshadow, or even a gray cool tone neutral color to ground your eyeshadow look. So it's gonna be very hard to come up with three looks without feeling too much and too messy and too just not cohesive. But I'm gonna try, and you know girls always love challenges. Another Vice palette, and let me tell you, this is a lot better because it has all of the transition color over here on this row, deeper color over here. So I was like, all right, face down, and then pop the color all over the places. You got it. Like this white shade over here, if you take a little bit and just highlight the inner corner and brow bone, hooded eyes, what hooded eyes? I look good. This is a Vice 2 palette right here, and this is another sad story that I lost 1, 2, and 3 colors. I know. But I still wouldn't want to throw it away because all the rest of the color is still good. I have the pinky shade here that I can ground my eyeshadow with, and this taupey shade over here that I could use. And all this darker color over here with the black, blue, and dark green colors, I think those are very gorgeous. Pink and purple, always a nice combination, and you have this two very good highlighty shade, the icy silver and the golden color. Those two can always work well on your inner corner, and it's even you can put it on your lower lash line to create that pop of color. I know it's like nobody needs as much eyeshadow as I do. So let's move on to the next series. The next up is Lorac eyeshadows palettes, and I know Lorac has been one of the staple palettes for a lot of makeup artists here, so I'm just saying, like, I will give my 2 cents about Lorac's eyeshadow, and also I would show you what I have. First, let's start with the Pro palettes, and this is the palettes that everybody was like, oh my god, it's so good, oh my god, get it, get it, get it. I have the Lorac 2 and Lorac 3. So Lorac 2, it has the same layout. It has a matte and it has the shimmer. Lorac 2 is the kind of palette that I think that I should have and keep because it has a lot of unique colors in it, and also no other eyeshadow palettes that will be so enriched in cool tone shadows. And I think it's very essential when it comes to like winter, because I like to use cool tone shadow for winter. 3 eyeshadow look from here is not a problem at all because you have a very stable color. So you see this blue here, this purple here, and this green here, and you could create 3 looks just using those 3 colors as like the major theme of your look. For Pro 3, everybody can come up with some kind of look for this palette, and I commend Lorac for doing such a good job in this palette. As you can tell, Lorac 2 and 3 are the 2 palettes that I always count on for warm tones and cool tones. But the reason I don't use this as much as my Naked Shadow and my other eyeshadow palette is the amount of fallout of these 2 palettes is ridiculous. And the reason I keep this so clean is every time after I do my makeup, I always clean my eyeshadow palette to make sure that it looks just like it was before I used them. So I'm OCD like that. So it looks good on display. Lorac shadow is very soft and buttery. So while this is a good quality, I still think that a lot of times it could create a lot of mess when you're using it, and sometimes when you blend them together, it's very easy for color to all jumble up together. So I think that when you use Lorac Pro, you really need to separate your color and layer it with caution. And don't do too much when you use Lorac shadow, because I feel like if you do too much, it will look like just a messy mess on your lid. Not cute. I also have a bigger Lorac Pro. I was a little late to the trend, so I only got the Pro 3. I don't like when eyeshadow palette that has the amount of fallout Lorac has have a white packaging. Just doesn't work. This is like the Pro 3 on steroid, hence Mega Pro 3. Come on now, Danny. One thing that I would say about this palette is that the amount of eyeshadow colors that it has in here is not very color friendly. That means that people with darker skin tone cannot use a lot of this color because they just won't show up. And honestly, I feel like with the amount of eyeshadow colors in here, you should come up with a lot more color friendly, like woman with color or man with color friendly eyeshadow color in here. I have another very cute Lorac palette, and this is the Refined Romance. I mean, I'm a package whore. Look at this, it's so cute. Screens my name. And this is a very comprehensive palette, and it's a natural everyday look, and it has this 3 color right here. I really think that this 2 highlight looks fabulous on me, and this blush is also very cute. It's completely layerable. And this color right here, oh come on now, this is so everyday. That means that you do not need to think too much. You just have to, oh, this is the darker shade, this is shimmer, transition, inner corner. And honestly, in my opinions, this is perfect for traveling because you have your face color over here and your natural eyeshadow color here. And honestly, you don't need to worry what kind of occasion this can, you know, be appropriate for, because it's appropriate for almost every occasion because it's natural makeup. Last but not least, Lorac has also a smaller palette like this. This is the Eye Cheek palette, like Dance to Dawn. And the first thing I thought, I'm like, okay, this is designed for lighter skin tone. Why? Because you don't see dark color in here. Like the darkest color, this purple right here, it's not gonna be dark enough for a lot of women with color. So I honestly think this is not very general Propolis friendly. And honestly, I think the cheek color is a little bit too shimmery for my liking. However, I think that if you're a lighter skin tone, it's definitely gonna be perfect for you. I'm gonna struggle with this, I already know, to come up with 3 looks. So yeah, we just have to do this. And let's move on to the next one. The next one up is Zoeva. I don't hear about this a lot on internet, but honestly, they're such good eyeshadow palettes. So I'm gonna do the justice today and show you the eyeshadow palettes I do have from Zoeva. So the first one up is Caramel Melange. I don't know how to say this name, it's weird. So this is a warm tone dream. Just really love the transition shade here because I can do so much with this. Next one up is going to be the Blanc Fusion. This is a gold dream. Like this color right here is speaking to me, it's talking to me, it's telling me to do things. I love how many matte shades they have and on this palette, and this row is matte and this row is shimmer. I have the rose golden, and oh my god, like this is my favorite packaging. Again, love how many shimmer they are, and I love these 2 shades here. I know that for transition color, this 2 is not gonna work apparently, and this matte shade over here is not dark enough to be in the crease to create that dimension that I really want. No, this is my favorite packaging. Unfortunately, I would say this is the least comprehensive, coherent eyeshadow palette of all 3 because it just doesn't have a lot of options you can work with because they are very red and rose gold and type of shade, and also it doesn't have a very great transition color for a lot of people, so I wouldn't recommend this as much as I recommend the other 2. Quality is out of this world. I just don't understand why people don't talk about it more. This is a Nude Spectrum eyeshadow palette and it looks like this. And honestly, this reminds me so much about my MAC Warm Neutral 15 color eyeshadow palette because it has a very similar skin in this one and that one. This matte shade over here, this matte black, could use to set your eyeliner, and also this shade right here to set your primer. So you can see the spectrum on here is very, very broad and it's really versatile. I am very proud of all my eyeshadows from Zoeva. So let's talk about the next brand. The next one up is Tarte. First one up is the Graveyard Girl Tarte collaboration, the Swamp Queen. I just got my hands on this palette. I'm gonna be honest, when it first came out, I was just like not able to find it anywhere. First of all, let's just talk about the packaging. I'm in love with this packaging. The smell, everything, I just love it. Well, okay, move on from the packaging, daddy, move on. Okay, look at the eyeshadow colors here, all nice shades, and it has a very nice variety of red shade, the redder tone, the brown tone, and then also the purple tone. Unfortunately, I haven't get to try this palette yet. I can't wait to use this on camera. This is the Tarte High Performance Neutral palette. How nice this packaging looks, I love it. As you can tell, this has been a while and you see how it's like kind of beat up already. So I think this is a cool tone must have. I honestly think that all this color look fantastic on my lid, and one of the things is it's so strange with Tarte eyeshadow palette is that no matter how much you dig in there, it still looks kind of barely used, which is good. I love this packaging because it's this wooden type of packaging. It's just so cute. Double Duty Beauty, and this is the Happy Girl Shine Brighter palette. There's no bronzer or really any highlight in here. For this palette itself, even though how limited the options are, you can actually come up with 3 shades. Sorry, you can actually come up with 3 looks. because you could use this pink blush as one of your lid color too. And I honestly think you can have a bronze look, you can have a red look, and you can have a smoky matte look. The infamous Tartelette all matte. And when I first got this, I could not believe that I got it. Like, I thought I had a problem that day. I was like, was I drunk? I don't know what happened that day. You can see it's barely used. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with it. Honestly, I'm not gonna get rid of it. Oh hell no, I spent my hard-earned money on this. I really think that it's a really practical palette if you are a matte shadow fan. Just not me, you know? I love my shimmer shade, and this is not, there's no shimmer in here. No, there's no shimmer in here. I don't know what happened. Rainforest of the Sea palette. I tried this for the first time in my first impression video before, and honestly I already spoke in my mind that in that video, and honestly this shadow just not my thing. I just can't. This is the Make Believe Yourself palette, and could we just talk about this, the smell? Oh my god, I've just been having like a smelling festival here because all the Tarte eyeshadow palette all smell so sweet and nice. All shimmer shades but one matte shade right here, mid. And this is a really good transition color, and honestly for me, I think this is not very universal because skin tone comes in all shapes and forms, and I just feel like one color is not going to be enough. Okay, so this is all the Tarte. Let's move on to the next one. Oh my god, yeah, that was a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I know. I really have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in my collection right now. I'm getting more. God help me. Check out the other one, or you already checked it out. Thank you so much. And before you leave, please hit the subscribe button somewhere over here, and check out my other video in my channels. I love makeup. Makeup's my passion. So I hope to see you in other videos. Adios.